OS 105 carburetor maintenance, the 61G. We're going to talk a little bit about what you need to do to maintain, and there's really only a couple things that you need to do to maintain this, and today we're only going to talk about one of them, and that is the barrel. And I'm going to show you real quick. So first you need a flathead screwdriver, and you also need a 2mm hex driver. First you want to remove the flathead right here, and that is a special screw. It has a shoulder at the tip of the screw. You can see that, and the barrel rides on that little shoulder. Okay, and the next one you're going to remove is this little 2mm. Actually, it's a 2.5. You use a 2mm hex driver to remove it, and it also has a little metal tab here. And after that, you just pull out on the carburetor or on the barrel, and your barrel comes right out. Remove the little slide tab, and you can see there is a slot here and a slot here. Both of those slots, it is very important to add grease. There's something on this barrel, actually there's two of them, called cat eyes. You can see, I'm going to try to get you to focus in there. There's a cat eye right there, and it looks exactly how it's described. It's like a cat's eye. And there's a cat eye here. And what those cat eyes do is they basically deliver fuel to your spray bar. Your spray bar is right in the middle here. You see that? Or maybe not. There we go. Your spray bar is right in the middle of the carburetor. Okay, so as the carburetor turns, the cat eye is shaped just like an eye. So as it turns, in the beginning, a little bit of fuel, more fuel, and maximum amount of fuel. And then as it continues, less fuel, less fuel. And basically, since you have two cat eyes and they're rotating together, you have a cat eye for your mid-range and you have a cat eye for your high end. And they overlap. So as the barrel turns, you transition between your circuits. So what happens is if you don't grease this slot and you don't grease this slot, you have the potential of the carburetor barrel sliding in and out by just a little bit, even maybe just a 1/4 of a millimeter sliding in and out. That will change how much fuel delivery your cat eye can produce. So super critical to keep this right here lubed, and when you take it out, go ahead and check it to make sure you don't see any metal shavings, any wear in both of those slots. If you do, it's time to replace that carburetor barrel. Back in the day, maybe about 10 years ago, we used to modify these cat eyes. We used to take and modify the front edge of it because with the OS 91C spec, it had a problem with fuel delivery between the high-end needle and the mid-range needle. So you'd modify the edge of that cat eye to get a little bit more fuel in between the mid-range and the high-end. Today's carburetor barrel, perfect. They've taken all that stuff we did back in the day into account, and you get perfect fuel delivery from mid-range to high-end as long as your needles are correct. So I'm going to take my Boda lube and I'm going to squirt a bead right in there. Wipe off any excess. Put a bead right in the other side. Wipe off any excess. Okay. Reinsert and make sure the large slot is lined up with the shouldered or shoulder-headed bolt. So slide it right in, and first thing you want to do is make sure this little tab goes back in the slot. So you can see that tab's got to go back in the slot before you can put the carburetor back in its place, or carburetor barrel back in its place. And it'll slide right down with a little bit of wiggling. There we go. Right back down in its place. And then you can go ahead and put the little shoulder bolt back in. Tighten it down, flathead, tighten down the 2.5 millimeter bolt. are done.